everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and today is going to be a relaxed, easy, get ready with me. I'm going to be showing you the palettes from the Sydney Grace Temptalia collection. There are 3 palettes, and I'll go through them and show you the shades and everything. I'm not going to do an in-depth review today. If you guys are interested in seeing an in-depth review of each palette, I will absolutely do that. But I thought for today, I'm just going to do a look. I'll show you the shades, we'll talk about it, and we'll just, we'll do something fun and we'll do something pretty. I'm also going to be using some Lisa Eldridge products as well, so you guys can see how those look. And, just kind of sitting back, putting on makeup. So if that's something you're interested in seeing, just stay tuned. Okay, so pulled my hair back because, it always gets in the way. So what I'm going to do today is something a little bit different. Instead of putting on a primer that I usually use, which is my Guerlain Watery Oil or maybe the Bobbi Brown. In the summer, I shouldn't say always. In the summer, I generally use the Guerlain Watery Oil. I use it all year round, but if I'm going to switch up primers, it's going to be in the winter, where maybe I'll use the Bobbi Brown or the Victoria Beckham. But in the summer, it's, I think, exclusive. I'm trying to remember if I want to be like really precise. I don't think I've ever used another primer. No, I just use the Guerlain Watery Oil in the summer. Or I don't use a primer. Sometimes I don't in the summer because it's actually the only time of year that I have any moisture to my skin. So that's it. So I'm going to use the Lisa Eldridge product. If you haven't seen it, this is the highlighter and I'm using it in, I think, Cosmic Rose. Yes, Cosmic Rose. So this is what the container looks like. I think it is still available. At least it is as I'm filming this, but who knows by the time it goes up. This is what the applicator looks like. And I'm going to use this as kind of my primer. I'm going to use this in a way like the Charlotte Tilbury products, I think Auric, which I always wanted to pick up and was sold out and then never came back. And if it ever comes back, I will try. As sort of like an overall brightener for my face. So I'm going to put it in sort of these spots, but I'm going to kind of, put it all over-ish. Now I'm going to use my hands, which I know is not everybody's cup of tea, but I prefer my fingers to a brush when I put these kind of products on. So I am just going to literally put this through my T-zone up here. I got to be careful because I did do my brows. Under my eyes. And the only place I'm not going to put it is around my mouth. Everywhere else, I have the elevated glow on my face. And we're going to let it sink in for a little bit. So let's talk about the Sydney Grace Temptalia palettes while we let it sit in. So I was so excited to receive these. I bought them, but once they came in the mail, just so excited. I'm a huge fan of Sydney Grace. And every Sydney Grace product I've ever tried has been magnificent. So just absolutely thrilled. And this is no different. I've gone through, I haven't swatched them yet, but the shades are just so beautiful, so pretty. So there were 3 palettes, there's 3 palettes, and in each one you could get a light palette or a deep palette. I picked light because I'm pale, except for the one in it, and I'm gonna get the name, I think it's Quizessence. I don't remember right now. I'll make sure all the names are below when I'm talking about it. I got the deep one because in this one of the shades, and I think it's Reaching Zenith, is like a grayish blue. And in the light palette, it looked more like just a gray. And I didn't like it as much, to be honest with you, in the swatches. Sydney Grace and Temptalia had lots and lots of swatches that you could all see on Instagram, and you could see which ones were light, which ones were dark, and make your decisions ahead of time. And I don't know, for that palette, I liked the darker version. So, but the rest of them I did get in light. So this is the other one, and like I said, I'll have the names down below. And that's the light. I'm just making sure the light is capturing it. I don't want it to look like, sometimes with cameras, like it gets too bright and you can't really tell what the shades are. And then the third one, and the packaging is beautiful. I put the picture online. The first one is Quintessence, and I got that in deep. Second one is On the Horizon, and I got that in light. And then this one is Radiant Reflection, and I also got this one in light. And I just love the fact that Sydney Grace does that, you know, understands that there may be some shades that are a little too deep, or that need to be deeper, depending on, you know, your skin tone and what you want to pick up. So I don't know, I think Sydney Grace does a fantastic job. And so today, like I said, we're just gonna come up with something fun. All of these shades are beautiful. I am happy to do a tutorial, or, you know, just a detailed review of each one, or all, like, just kind of overall. You guys let me know what you're interested in seeing. So I feel like that's sat in for a little while, sunk in for a little while. And it does give my skin a nice glow. And I have found with the two shades that I have from the Lisa Eldridge highlighters, I have Cosmic Glow, Cosmic Rose, and the other one. Yeah. Cosmic Rose and Crystal Nebula. I knew it would come to me eventually. Crystal Nebula. And the Crystal Nebula, I feel, works really well as a highlighter. As a highlighter on top of my foundation, under my foundation, right below, if I put it on right before blushes, for her blushes, it looks really, really good. And this one, the Cosmic Rose, I think works better as like an underneath glow. Like if I put it on like this and then put foundation on it, over it, I feel like that works better for me. Because the shade is like, it's kind of the same shade as my skin tone. I'll show you on my hand, and it's got definite glow to it, but it's not really like a shimmer. It's more like a glow, which is what she describes it as, an elevated glow. And so I feel like for me and my skin tone, you can see it when I do this, it reminds me of the Auric product that I have never been able to get. Now, again, I don't have the Auric product, so I could be totally wrong. But I don't know, I just get that feel when I'm using this, because it just makes my skin look glowy and dewy, and then I put a foundation on over it. So the foundation I'm using today is the Sisley Phyto Tint. Probably wrong. It's a long-lasting foundation. I love the Sisley foundations, actually. I have quite a few. This is one I don't pull out very often, so I just thought, you know what? Let's pull it out. I have this in soft beige. My only issue with Sisley, well, one of my issues with Sisley is the shade ranges. I mean, I really feel like if they had a better shade range, I think I don't know, I think their products are amazing, but like their foundations, the shade range is terrible. I mean, in my opinion. All right, so let's put this on. Now, for those of you who don't watch my channel, you won't know that this is like the dewiest I've ever looked. My skin is very dry. I'm 49 years old, and I have rosacea, I have dry skin. So I really feel like this Elevated Glow product really gives me a beautiful elevated glow. I really love it. I really love the Crystal Nebula as well as a highlighter. It's a very natural highlighter on me. And I mentioned this in my review that I did. As you get older, even if you take care of yourself and you have good skin and all those things, you have lines. I mean, it's just, it's just the way it is. And shimmery products, or products that have bits of material, will settle into lines often, and just over the day, for me anyway, make me look older. And so I'm not a huge fan of highlighters. I never have been. Well, I shouldn't say never. I haven't been a fan of highlighters in the last 20 years. And so I really love this formula for me because it gives a really natural glow. It gives me this sort of dewy, glowy, pretty look. And I don't have to worry about it aging me around my eyes. So for me, this is a great product. If you're looking for, though, a true like highlighter, I don't think this is the product for you, which is why I think she called it an elevated glow, because it's not the typical highlighter that you would think of. That being said, I really like this. Very happy with it and hope she comes out with more shades. Next, I want to point out that I am and have been using the Pat McGrath concealer, and I have it in shade, what shade do I have? L4, and I have been using a little bit of concealer, and when I say a little bit, I do mean a little bit. I don't use a lot, and I feel like I can use it when I have a product like this, and my skin is feeling moisturized, then it works. If I'm having a very dry skin day, I can't do it. So I think it's a really good concealer, and I actually do like it, and it's one of the first concealers I would say that I can sort of support. Looking for the right way to say this. I up to now on my channel, I have not made a recommendation for concealers because I don't use concealers, and I feel very uncomfortable endorsing something that I don't use because I just don't think that's right. So, but the Pat McGrath one I do like. The only other concealer that I use that I like, it's not really a concealer, it's a corrector. It's the Charlotte Tilbury corrector, and I have it in Fair. And I wouldn't necessarily say this is a concealer. I mean, it is, but it's really a corrector. The Fair one has like kind of like a pinkish cast, and it helps kind of color correct, like if you have a little bit of blueness, which I do sometimes. And then the rest of the products I use are really what they would consider, I forgot what they're called. They're like the YSL Touch Look Eclat or whatever. And I have a Sisley one. It's like a brightening pen. It's not a concealer. It's just, it's almost like an inner corner highlight to refract light and, you know, just sort of make that area look lighter and brighter. But for concealers, you know, the Pat McGrath one is the first one that I've been using that I'm like, okay, I don't use a lot. I use very little, as you probably just saw. So, you know, just keep that in mind. But I am using it, and I do like it. Next, we're going to use the Lisa Eldridge Venetian Red. This is the shade that was the most unexpected for me that I picked it up, because it's a very bright shade. And I wasn't going to pick it up. I was like, nope, it's too deep for me. But I saw on her channel how diffused these actually get, and I thought, I will try it. So, moment of truth. I have not used it on my face before, and as you can see, I'm going in very lightly with it because I'm a little nervous. I'm very pale, guys. I'm like, you know, extraordinarily pale. So, and I have rosacea. So the idea of putting something red on my face on purpose is just, you know, I'm like, yeah, it seems wrong. I spent thousands of dollars in lasers and will continue to do so. Lasers do work, by the way. If you're ever interested in getting like laser treatments for, you know, whatever, they work. They're very expensive and they hurt, like, they hurt, but they work. Okay, so this is actually very pretty. I shouldn't have doubted Lisa. No, it's very pretty. And it's not as red, obviously, as it looks on my hand. And I think we can add more. I'm just going in very carefully so that I don't... It's easier, in my opinion, to build it up. And yes, it's a little slow, but, you know, you can get the level that you want instead of having to figure out how to take it off, or, you know, which I have done sometimes, wash your entire face. I've done that. I don't enjoy doing that, but I've done it. Okay, so that is Venetian red on a very, very pale person. I love it. I think it's beautiful. It's got a gorgeous flush. I think it looks great. I have heard people talk about the fact that these don't last very long on them, and I think that's probably true. I don't think they do last super long. I'm just adding a little bit more here. I've worn them a couple of times, and I would not say that they've lasted particularly long, although I wouldn't say that they didn't last like a reasonable amount of time, because, and that could be because my skin is so dry. Maybe on me, they last longer. I mean, my skin is really dry. I don't know. I didn't have a problem. I mean, they've lasted, you know, 6 hours, maybe a little bit longer. And honestly, the only thing I would say is they just sort of fade. So it's not like there's lines or that it cracks or anything like that. It just fades, which all cream blushes do, at least on me. But this one fades really in a really pretty way. It just looks lighter by the end of the day. I mean, it didn't go away completely on me. But again, I am pale and and I have dry skin. So that's, you know, that could be it. But for me, they work really well. Again, I'm not sure how well these work. Ooh, I hit something. I'm not sure how well these work for someone who has a deeper skin tone, because I feel, although they look very pigmented, here, I don't think they look super pigmented once you put them on the face. I think that's the point. I think Lisa Eldridge was going for a very natural, very flushed look, enlivening blush, you know, to kind of give your face a flushed look. I don't think these were meant to be super pigmented or strong, but that's an aesthetic thing. If you don't like that, then you won't like the products. I love them. I reach for these all the time now that I've got them. I've been playing with them practically every day for my Zoom calls. But again, you know, blush is it's been the last couple of months of blush. There's been so many blushes. So if it's not your cup of tea and it's not what you like, there are many other options out there for you. And I will be having a blush battle very soon that will have cream blushes and powder blushes, 2 different episodes. So let's take a little bit of bronzer. We'll use the Dior 04. I really do enjoy this bronzer. My half-yearly, halfway through the year, whatever you want to call it, favorites video will be coming up soon. And, you know, spoiler, this is definitely in it. I have been really reaching for this. I think it's just a really pretty bronzer, and the formula is really good. I feel like it's smooth, it's easy to go on. The shade range was a little tricky to figure out. This is a 4, and I have the 2 as well, and the 2 isn't that much lighter than this. It's just a lot warmer than this. So, you know, something to keep in mind as you're picking out the shades. I have friends who have like the set number 7, and it's not that deep. I mean, it would be too deep for me, but it's not that deep. So again, shade ranges are a little off everywhere, but other than that, I really like the formula. Okay, so Radiant Reflection, I mean, beautiful shades, stunning shades. Just, I mean, I'm just very excited to try these out. On the Horizon, again, beautiful, stunning. This is the one I think I might use today, only because it has greens in it, and I'm kind of like a sucker. I'm a sucker for greens. This also has greens in it though. And then this one is Quintessence. And I kind of want to use them all, but that's not going to work. So today, let's use On the Horizon, which is, again, this one here. And we're just going to come up with a fun look from it. That's all we're going to do today. I'm going to chat a little bit, do a fun eye look, Okay, so let's start with the Hourglass 6 brush, and let's use Infinite Echoes, which looks, you know what? No. Let's do, there's so many good shades that now I'm overwhelmed. All right, let's pull out from the Radiant Reflection. Let's pull out Dearest Constant. I can't speak. Let me show you the shade. Because what I want is like a nice neutral. Yeah, all right. Let's use that shade. These are very pigmented. Oh, let me bring you in a little bit closer. I got so excited about the shades, I forgot to do that. And let's just create kind of a neutral transition here. Oh, that's a great matte. You know, the thing about mattes is it's hard to find ones that are creamy, that blend well and are just, you know, easy to go on. And look at how smoothly that goes on. If you haven't tried Sydney Grace, guys, you gotta try it. Independent brand, great customer service, great products, great shipping. Well, I shouldn't say that. For me, the shipping was really good. I know there's people out there who are still waiting for their palettes, and I get it. Trust me, I get it. You know, I live outside of Boston, and usually I get everything so much later than everybody else. Like, I order stuff the same day as, you know, everybody else orders it, and usually it just takes so much longer to get to me. And my friends in Chicago or LA or Texas or Atlanta are always like, oh, I got mine 2 days ago. And I'm like, why? Like, why does it take so long to get to Boston? I don't know. But I'll tell you, it usually takes longer to get to Boston. So I got these so quickly. It was like, I mean, it was just so fast. It was like a day. I was just like, oh my goodness. Okay. So next we're gonna take Desert Spoon, which is this green shade. Sorry, but I have to do green. I kind of want to do the blues as well, but I'm like, I'll do the green. I'm just like, the shades are, oh, they're all so pretty. That's the Desert Spoon. And we're gonna go in with a Wayne Goss 04 brush. And we're gonna dip into that lightly because pigmented. And I don't have a primer on today on my eyes, guys. This is just the shadows. When I first use a shadow or a palette, I try to do that. I try not to use a primer. Because I'd like to see how it performs without it. And, you know, generally shadows definitely work better with one. I am aware of that. But I always like to try it first to see what happens without one. And this is pretty impressive for a matte especially. And I'm just blending. Half of my life is blending. So pretty, really good so far. And I'm gonna clean this line up later, but I could use like eye tape to, you know, keep that. It's not something I do, just clean it up at the end. That's just, you know, it's how I work. Okay, let's take the green shimmery shade called Earthbound. Look at that. I want to know how Sydney Grace does it. That's what I want to know. Okay. Let's use the Chikuhodo KZ07 brush. By the way, there is a new FO brush on Feud Beauty. FO F08, which I have to pick up. I picked up the Sonia G brushes. I don't know if everyone here was able to get them if they wanted. I did post about it early in the day. And I posted early in the day because I knew they were going to go fast. And I wanted to give you all a heads up. And I heard that by like 1:15 they were gone, like right around then. So I knew they'd go fast. I didn't think they'd go that fast, but I mean, good for her. I'm very excited. I love Sonia G brushes, but I hope everyone who wanted to get them got them. I did hear that she's gonna try to restock, I think end of July. So it's not like you're gonna have to wait that long. I mean, and they're brushes, guys. Like, you know, it's not the end of the world. If you really love them, she will be restocking them. But I get it. I mean, trust me. I was very excited and I pre-ordered mine. Someone mentioned to me like they didn't understand anything about pre-ordering. So what Beautylish will do is they'll on their site, or they'll send you know, a message on Instagram. I'm just going back in with that matte shade and going over it. They'll put like a notice that it's coming, like a new product is coming, and then they'll say, you know, put your email below and we'll notify you. And what they do is they'll reach out in a text or in an email and say, hey, you let us know that you'd be interested in this product. It's launching. Would you like to pre-order it? And that's what they did. I've done that with Beautylish many times, and Beautylish has amazing customer service, the best, honestly, the best. And so they reached out via text and said, hey, you know, you can pre-order the brushes. Since I've done it a bunch of times, they have my information on file. So they had my, you know, I just confirmed my credit card number and my address, and they sent it out. So just something to keep in mind if that's something you want to do in the future. Okay, so let's see. Now I want an inner corner. There's one in here called Heart Dog that I think is really pretty. But I could also use this, which is Serious Starlight from the Quintessence palette. Or I could use Heart Dog. Wow, those are both beautiful. Look at that. And that was just like the tiniest of tiny swatches. All right, let's use Heart Dog. Heart Dog is in this palette, which is the On the Horizon palette. Just, I mean, and I'm not just using this as inner corner highlight, I'm using this as kind of like the inner corner of the eye. Like probably the, what, fifth inner corner? Look how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness. Oh. So glad I picked these up. Okay, so I'm gonna buff this out with the Wayne Goss 03. All I'm doing is kind of, you know, going back and forth here just to blend that Heart Dog into the green shades just a little bit. It still keeps its brightness because, like I said, the Sonia G shades are so amazing. Like that was one, I didn't even put any pressure, and I didn't even really swatch those correctly. And look at that. Look at that. Stop focusing on my face and focus on the colors. There we go. I don't know why the camera wants my face. Okay. So nice. Let's take a green from the Radiant Reflection, or maybe I should take it. Like, there's so many nice shades. Yeah, they're all beautiful, guys. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm so impressed. All right, so let's take Sublime Revere. I think it's Revere, which is this shade here. And that's from, which one is that from? That's from Radiant Reflection. We'll use that as a liner. I'm gonna use a Refer 03 brush. And you don't need much of this. I mean, seriously, you don't need much. Very pigmented. Very pigmented. I want to use every shadow in this palette like every day. Okay, let me clean up the edges a little bit here, and then we'll do, I'll curl my lashes and put on mascara. Okay, a final look with the Sydney Grace Temptalia collection. Now, again, I only used, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shades. I love it. The shades in here are so beautiful. Again, I've only used 5. I mean, I recognize that each one of these palettes has 12 shades in it, so I have a lot more work to do, but just so beautiful, and they go on like a dream, and the mattes are beautiful, and the shimmers are beautiful, and just my hat's off to Sydney Grace and Temptalia for this collab. It's just absolutely beautiful, and I'm gonna do lots of looks with it because I just absolutely love it. I did put on the Sisley Nude Beige lip liner, and we're gonna use the Rouge Coco Bloom in Dream. It's a shade that I didn't have before, and I decided I would go ahead and pick it up because I really love this formula. My hand still has all of the swatches, so we'll just put it here. That's Dream. And let's go ahead on, put it on and finish the look. I was gonna use one of the Lisa Eldridge products because I was like, well, you know, they're new. But I felt like since I used the Lisa Eldridge glow all over my face and the blush, that I would do, you know, something a little bit different for the lips. I think this is a great shade. It's really pretty. I mean, it's just like a nice neutral pink. It has a little bit of warmth to it. It's a good shade. It's a really good shade. And you know, I really like this formula. It looks glossy. It looks like the Rouge Coco flashes, but then it sort of stains your lips and dries down. So it's just a really nice formula. As you can see, the Venetian red has started to wear to the color that it's going to be for the rest of the day. So this is what happens with the blushes for me, for Lisa Eldridge blushes. They go on a little bit what I consider like bright at first, and then they tone down to the shade that they're going to be for the rest of the day. And then it just kind of stays this way for like 6 hours. And then it just sort of fades away. That's what I've noticed. For me, again, they're great and they work really well and I love them, but they are not super pigmented and I don't think they're super long wearing. The glow I absolutely love. I think on me, this just gives me a really nice dewy, glowy look. I just think it's really, really pretty. And I love the Cosmic Rose for that, for me. The Crystal Nebula I've been using as more of like a highlight. So that's the Lisa Eldridge. And I mean, I just said, I mean, look how pretty that is. This is just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Shades are beautiful. I can't wait to try them all out. I'm very, very excited. So yeah, I'll have all the information down below in the description box. I just think that looks just really nice. I mean, it's just a glowy, pretty face. I think it looks very natural. I think it kind of plumps up my skin and gives me a more youthful appearance, which I appreciate. And then the eyeshadows are just out of this world. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon.